Go toward what makes you feel strong, not weak. Your flesh is weak. And as a human being, as an individual, we all need to be aware of our weaknesses so that we don't go or we don't feed what make us weak. You have to feed what make us strong. So whatever gives you that feeling of strength, whatever it may be, physical activity, walking, labor, being charitable, whatever that you know as an individual, whatever makes you feel strong, that's what you have to feed. You have to also know what makes you feel weak or weakness is. Whatever situations or mentality or ideas that give you a weak feeling, you have to stay away from that. So that's your body's way and your spirit's way of communicating with us to let us know where we should go. But you have to pay attention to that. You as an individual only knows what your weaknesses are and what your strengths are. They will be revealed to you through time and circumstances. So we have to remember this. And also, when we talk about the Garden of Eden, we're talking about a perpetual state of peace and happiness and joy. So this is how you maintain your Garden of Eden, which is in you. The Garden of Eden is a place of contentment, a place of where you feel strength, where you feel connection, where you feel alignment to the source, the true source of what created us. To be away from that or to be disconnected from that is what's killing us. It's what's making us less divine, less connected, less in alignment. So we have to understand that the unseen part of this warfare is the most critical, because the nature of a person or a human being is what you don't see. You only see their behavior and their actions on the surface, but underneath that, there's something causing them to act and think and behave the way that they do. So that's the nature of a human being. So understanding the nature of this war and the nature of who you're dealing with is what's going to save us and what's going to prepare us for the next phase. So when we talk about righteousness, when we talk about wickedness, when we talk about these principles that lead to success or fate, we ultimately have to make that decision when we reach that crossroads to which way am I going? Am I going to go the right way or the wrong way? The wrong way looks more attractive because of the gain and the physical pleasures, but you have to be able to discern what's really good for you. You can't go off what's surface based looks good. You have to be patient and look closely into it so that you don't get tricked by Satan. A lot of times the right path looks like the wrong path because it requires patience. It requires understanding, knowledge, being connected to your true self, wisdom. That's what the right path looks like. It looks more intimidating because we think it takes too long to reach God or to reach that level. But you can't shortcut it. All you're going to do is hurt yourself by shortcutting. There are laws in the universe that we have to measure up to. They've been here before we were in existence. They'll be here when we're gone. We have to live up to these standards that God has put here for us to survive. We have to understand the laws and the systems in this universe where we are perpetually protected and living in abundance. The only way we can do that is by knowing the laws, understanding the laws, not breaking the laws and disobeying the laws. That's the only way we're going to make it in true alignment in the universe and be able to manifest and pull from the universe what you desire. But there are certain trials and tribulations God have to put us through before we reach that level, because you have to earn that. You have to earn that kind of power. And humility is number one. You won't understand your trials properly if you're not humble. And then humility is really power, because you have to resist Satan to be humble. It's easy to act out of emotional distress or anger, but when you humble yourself, you have more reasoning. You can reason with a situation better, opposed to being emotionally on edge. So all of that is self-control. All of that is discipline. All of that is what we need to establish in order to be what we are meant to be, our destiny, fulfill our destinies. So again, the Garden of Eden is really heaven on earth in your mind and spirit, because it starts within you. Heaven is not an external place. Heaven starts within you conditionally as a person, as an individual. Hell is the same way. But until we understand that we have more control and power than we realize in terms of how we feel, those feelings that we feel, we can choose peace. Many of us choose stress because we are insecure. Insecurity leads to stress. It leads to depression and anxiety because you're dissatisfied. But why are you dissatisfied? If you're a true believer in God, you should never be dissatisfied because you understand God is in control of this process. So it's going to be ups and downs. You're going to be going through you're going to be traveling through time and space. So what is the point of being disappointed? It's going to be different realities each day. You're going to experience something new, something different. So for you to be depressed, you're a true disbeliever. For you to have anxiety, you're a true disbeliever. For you to have stress, you're a true disbeliever. For you to have fear, you're a true disbeliever, because when you truly believe in God, all of that is taken away from you. All of those negative emotions are removed. So obviously we got the wrong perception of God, because if we in the condition we're in psychologically and spiritually, that's proof that we don't know God. Because when you know God, you don't have to articulate it. It's seen in your very aura and presence and energy and your walk and your talk and in the relationships you build and your manifestation and the way you uplift others and your ability to be charitable, and all of your behavior is what will determine whether you know God or not. So we got to become more serious about this process and not take it as a game and a joke, thinking that God is something to be played with, because it's not. And you see now how critical the hour is. You see how critical it is because the wicked are being destroyed right now. So you have to make sure, and we have to make sure, that we are not wicked, that we're not living wicked, because this is the day and time of the removal of the wicked. So if you don't want to die, if you don't want to be removed, if you don't want God to replace you and remove you from the universe, you have to submit to righteousness. Wickedness is what's going to destroy us. It's the key to our destruction. Living wicked. So only righteousness will protect us and keep us moving forward as we should. But as I mentioned earlier, we have total control over the way we feel. Like, a lot of people reason that they feel these emotions like stress or depression or anxiety as though they have no control over it. And then they take anxiety pills or depression pills. What is that going to do? What is depression medicine or anxiety medicine going to do?